वीर्य शुल्केन ऋता. Yes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Om Namo
Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. या वीर्यशुल्केन ऋता स्वयंवरे
स्वयंवरे
प्रमथ्य चैद्य प्रमुखान् हि शुष्मिना
प्रमथ्य चैद्या प्रमुखान् हि शुष्मिना
प्रद्युम्न साम्बाम्ब सुतादयो परा
प्रद्युम्न साम्बा सुत्यदयो
यश्चार्ता भौमवदे सहस्रशः
यश्चार्हता भौमवदे सहस्रशः.
The children of these ladies are Pradyumna, Samba, Amba, etc. Ladies like Rukmini, Satyabhama, and Jambavati were forcibly taken away by him from their Swayamvar ceremonies after he defeated many powerful kings, headed by Shishupal. And other ladies were also forcibly taken away by him after he killed Bhaumasur and thousands of his assistants. All of these ladies are glorious. Exceptionally qualified daughters of powerful kings were allowed to make a choice of their own bridegrooms in open competition. And such ceremonies were called Swayamvar, or selection of the bridegroom. Because the Swayamvar was an open competition between the rival and valiant princes, such princes were invited by the father of the princess, and usually there were regular fights between the invited princely order in a sporting spirit. But it so happened that sometimes the belligerent princes were killed in such marriage fighting, and the victorious prince was offered the trophy princess for whom so many princes died. Rukmini, the principal queen of Lord Krishna, was the daughter of the king of Vidarbha, who wished that his qualified and beautiful daughter be given away to Lord Krishna. But her eldest brother wanted her to be given away to King Shishupal, who happened to be a cousin of Krishna. So there was open competition, and as usual, Lord Krishna emerged successful after harassing Shishupal and other princes by his unrivaled prowess. Rukmini had 10 sons like Pradyumna. There were other queens also taken away by Lord Krishna in a similar way. Full description of this beautiful booty of Lord Krishna will be given in the 10th canto. There were 16,100 beautiful girls who were daughters of many kings and were forcibly stolen by Bhaumasur, who kept them captive for his carnal desire. These girls prayed piteously to Lord Krishna for their deliverance, and the merciful Lord, called by their fervent prayer, released them all by fighting and killing Bhaumasur. All these captive princesses were then accepted by the Lord as his wives, although in the estimation of society, they were all fallen girls. The all-powerful Lord Krishna accepted the humble prayers of these girls and married them with the adoration of queens. So altogether, Lord Krishna had 16,108 queens at Dwarka, and in each of them he begot 10 children. All these children grew up, and each had as many children as the father. The aggregate of the family numbered in millions. Hari Bol. I don't really have anything to share. I think more elaboration of the story is given in Krishna book. So we should all refer to there for more information.
Hare Krishna. So anybody else would like to share anything? Any volunteers who would like to read the next one? Go to the next
I
one.
can read, Prabhuji.
Okay, mother. Go ahead.
Okay, Prabhuji. एता परं स्त्रीवान् एता परं स्त्रीत्वं पास्तपेशलम्
Eta param stritvam apastapeshalam
निरस्तशौचं बत साधु कुर्वते
Saucham bata
बत
sadhu
साधु
kurvate.
कुर्वते यासां गृहत् पुष्करलोचनपते
Ya samgrihat pushkaralochana pate.
न जात अपैते अहर्तिभिर्हृदि सॉरी न जात अपैते अहर्तिभिर्हृदि स्पृशन्
Na jatva apaitya aharati bhirhridi sprashan.
Translation. All these women auspiciously glorified their lives despite their being without individuality and without purity. Their husband, the lotus eyed personality of Godhead, never left them alone at home. He always pleased their hearts by making valuable presentations. Purport. The devotees of the Lord are purified souls. As soon as the devotees surrender unto the lotus feet of Lord sincerely, the Lord accepts them, and thus the devotees at once become free from all material contamination. Such devotees are above the three modes of material nature. There is no bodily disqualification of a devotee, just as there is no qualitative difference between the Ganges water and the filthy drain water when they are amalgamated. Women, merchants, and laborers are not very intelligent, and thus it is very difficult for them to understand the signs of God or to be engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. They are more materialistic, and less than them are the Kiratas, Hunas, Andhras, Pulindas, Pulkashas, Abhiras, Kankas, Yavanas, Khasas, etc. But all of them can be delivered if they are properly engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. By engagement in the service of the Lord, the designative disqualification are removed, and as pure souls, they become eligible to enter into the kingdom of God. The fallen girls under the clutches of Bhaumasura sincerely pray to the Lord Shri Krishna for their deliverance, and in sincerity of purpose made them at once pure by virtue of devotion. The Lord therefore accepts them as his wives, and thus their lives became glorified. Such auspicious glorification was still more glorified when the Lord played with them as the most devoted husband. The Lord used to live with his 16,108 wives constantly. He expanded himself into 16,108 plenary portions, and each and every one of them was the Lord himself without deviation from the original personality. The Shruti mantra affirms that the Lord can expand himself into many. As husband of so many wives, he pleased them with all with presentations. Even at a costly endeavor, he brought the parijata plant from heaven and implanted it at the place of Satyabhama, one of the principal queens. If therefore anyone desires the Lord to become one's husband, the Lord fulfills such desires in full. Hare Krishna.
Anything you want to share, Mataji?
So, Prabhuji, I think this is the story how Krishna accepted those 16,108 women as his wife. As sometimes people, we also had this question that why or how he accepted. But in this, it's been explained that how Bhaumasura was actually took them forcefully, and they prayed to Krishna and said that Krishna, and that they prayed immensely that Krishna, we really want your shelter. So Krishna actually came and accepted them. So that's how Krishna is. That if you remember him, or if your prayers are with full devotion, that he comes and accepts you. So that's the story, Prabhuji. They are saying that how Krishna accept, and why he accepted, what were their qualification, and how they did prayers to Krishna. And then Prabhupada here explaining that there is no as a qualification. Prabhupada is saying here, no, in here somewhere, that these devotees, actually the devotees of the Lord, are purified souls. And as soon as the devotees surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord, sincerely the Lord accepts them, and thus the devotees at once become free from all material contaminations. And Prabhupada here saying that there is no, like somewhere it's written, there is no physical qualification or bodily disqualification for a devotee. Just as there is no qualitative difference between the Ganges water and the filthy drain water when they are amalgamated. So when they merge, then you cannot actually tell which water is from Ganges and which is from the filthy. So the same way, even if we are with the full of bad habits or bad things in our life, but when we really pray to Lord, and when we sincerely want to take a step towards him, then he comes and hold your hand. So that's Prabhupada is trying to say, that how merciful Krishna is. Said this is how he accepted those wives, and he not even accepted them, but he gave his best to be with them all the time, and he used to play with them, and he expanded himself in 16,108 Krishnas, so that he can, every time Krishna can be with them. And Prabhupada is saying that Krishna can expand himself in into many, because he's a Lord, and he's capable of doing everything. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, what is this Parijata plant?
Yes, Ansh wants to tell. Ansh.
A plant from a plant which came from the ocean of milk.
Oh, is it?
A tree.
Wow. So it's a heavenly flower, like lotus. We have lotus flower. Similarly, Parijata flower is a similar flower, very fragrant. Like, practically like one Parijata flower can give fragrance to the whole city. That much powerful it is. So that is there in the heavenly places.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Anj.
Okay.
Prabhuji, I just want to share one thing,
Yes, Mataji.
because I did some research on this plant
Yes.
tree. I have seen this fragrant plant from my eyes, because my neighbor used to have that, and I see practically how the flowers fall down in the night, and the whole ground is filled with the white flower, and it has the orange stem on it. Very tiny flower, but very fragrant. And in English it's called night blooming jasmine, because I was looking for it.
Very nice.
That's what I did research on it, and then I found it. So there is a parijat, and there is a one other name also, which I am trying to recall. Parijat is for sure, but there is one more name to it, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very nice. So thank you, Mataji, for sharing. Anybody else wants to share anything?
Hare Krishna.
Hare
There
Krishna.
is this story of Queen Rukmini wanting to take a parja of flower, and which she took from the heaven, and Indra did not like it, and there was a Shri Krishna punished him. There was a quarrel, fight between them, and Indra was subdued by Lord Shri Krishna. And then this flower was brought to earth from heaven.
Yes, correct. Very nice. Thank you, Andy. Okay.
It's a wonder this, this is like few other time also. It always say the woman, merchants and laborers are not very intelligent. Why they always have to say that?
So
And even they are not intelligent, but still they can do the bhakti, right?
yeah, so that is the whole point of saying that because we are not very intelligent, we means it is not just for one person. Everybody is practically in this category in this day and age. Either we are Shudra, because Kalo Shudra Sambhava. So everybody is either Shudra or they are in any of these categories. So basically we should not be very proud of what our current situation is. We generally tend to get proud, right? We think, oh, we have whatever we may be. So this is basically to mention that we should not be proud, but at the same time, everybody can connect to Krishna. Bhakti, nobody is actually, it's not a monopoly of any one person. Everybody can get access to it. So that is the idea. So better than being proud is to be humble and submit to Krishna. If one does that, then one is the highest. Because see, in this particular context, these ladies, they are the highest devotees of the Lord. But they accept this particular situation for a service of the Lord. So if you see gopis of Vrindavan, they are considered the highest devotees. Narad Muni was, you remember, right? Was once asked, Krishna was having headache, to go and get dust from the lotus feet. So he went to all the rishis, sages, munis. Nobody gave it, but the gopis of Vrindavan gave it. So the idea is, it does not matter what our qualification is. Devotion is what matters. Because the devotees or gopis of Vrindavan were devotees, they are the highest. No matter whether they may appear to be simple cowherd ladies, they are not doing tapasya, they are not doing any of that. Similarly, the wives of the Brahmanas. Sometimes people think, oh, we have to chant the mantra or the shloka in a perfect meter. Perfectly, we have to do the chanting and everything. It's good to do that, but that alone cannot please Krishna. In fact, the Brahmins, they were so involved in doing their yagyas that they, when Krishna and the cowherd boys came, the devotees, they did not properly welcome them, did not properly um, uh, give them anything to eat. But the wives of the Brahmanas, they were not
I remember
engaged.
that.
They were not engaged in the yagya. They were not engaged in all these things, but they were simply at home doing, regular duties. But when the cowherd boys and they came, then at that time, these ladies who had devotion, they were much more benefited because they took all the prasadam and took to Krishna. And when they met Krishna, they actually became so effulgent and glowing. And when they came back, all the husbands, they were thinking, Are, they realized that we made a mistake. We were so absorbed in trying to do the yagyas that we even forgot the purpose of doing the yagyas. The purpose is to please Krishna, but we forgot the purpose. So like that, the Brahman Patnis, they are simple, but still they are much more advanced than that. So this is the idea. Similarly, the wives of Kalia, his wives, they were all great devotees of Krishna, and Kalia was a demon. So he was having demoniac propensities, but the wives, they were devotees. So because the wives were devotees, so Krishna actually blessed, or rather, he just let Kalia go without killing Kalia. Even when, what's his name? Uddhava, he goes to Vrindavan. Uddhava is a great devotee of Krishna. There are so many glories about Uddhav. Uddhav, he speaks Uddhav Gita. So Uddhav is like a cousin and a great devotee and a close friend. In fact, Krishna is asking Uddhava many times. He's like one of his well-wishers and guides. But when he goes to Vrindavan, all the he actually realized that he's nothing as compared to the gopis of Vrindavan. So the point of saying this is that we should not be puffed up because of our intelligence. We are actually not very intelligent. But if we can take devotion, then we can be most pleasing to Krishna. Because devotion is what attracts Krishna. Bhakti is what attracts the Lord. It is the only means to attract Krishna. All the yagyas, all the mudras, all the tantras, all the yantras, they are not going to be able to please Krishna. But devotion can actually please Krishna. So that is the idea. So every time you read this, you should be reminded that, okay, we have to take to devotion. We have to actually follow the footsteps of the great personalities who have taken shelter of the remembrance of Krishna, holy name of Krishna, those who have actually glorified Krishna. So 9 processes of bhakti. So that way we will be always anchored to the principles of devotion. Does it make sense, Mataji?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I remember the name of that, other name of that Parijat flower. We used to call it Rat Rani. That Rat means night and Rani means queen. And it always bloom at night, and it smells very, very nice fragrance. So I just
Yes,
want to
Mataji,
let you
that is
know.
there, but I think this Parijata flower, what is description is actually given, is not found in earthly planets. It is actually from heavenly planets. But similar flowers, like you are mentioning, they may be there.
Okay.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhu, Isha asked me a lot about one question, and I'm unable to answer.
First of all, why is Isha not joining?
Okay.
She was joining every day, and now neither you are joining nor she is joining. So obviously the questions will be there, right?
Yeah, I can ask you and I see if Isha is there. Then I
At
can
least
call.
once a week you must join. Otherwise, there is no.
Yes, Prabhu.
It's stagnant. Material.
I'll yes, material Maya attacks.
So
Maya
make a
attacks.
point that okay, every Saturday you can attend, or every Sunday you can attend, or every Friday you can attend. One day a week,
One day,
160,
yeah.
168 hours are there in a week. So at least we can do 1 hour for Krishna, right?
Yes, Prabhu, definitely. So she always asks me that, Mom, why there is why there is not any single woman priest in the temple? Why there is always man priest in the temple? And if you could hold on to the thought and let me check up on the Isha real quick, Prabhu.
Mm-hmm. Hare Krishna. Okay. So anybody else in the meantime wants to share any points from this shloka? Okay, I'll read the translation again. All these women auspiciously glorified their lives despite their being without individuality and without purity. Their husband, the lotus height personality of Godhead, never left them alone at home. He always pleased their hearts by making valuable presentations. So this is Krishna and the ladies whom he rescued, and finally, because of their request, he married them. And Prabhupada in the purport is mentioning there is no bodily disqualification of a devotee, just as there is no qualitative difference between Ganges water and dirty filthy water when they are amalgamated. Women merchants and laborers are not very intelligent, and thus it is very difficult for them to understand the signs of God or to be engaged in devotional service of the Lord. They are more materialistic, and less than them are Kirat, Hunas, Andhras, Pulindas, Pulkashas, Abhiras, Kanakas, Yavanas, and Khasas. So what does this mean? These are people who are even lower than Shudras. So in a particular society, there are Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. These are like the cultured, civilized people. But then there are people who are even lower tribes than Shudras. Shudras at least can follow some rules and regulations. But actually, these people, they have no rules and regulations. They are like tribal people who don't have any rules. They will do what pretty much very animalistic. So this is where we are right now. So we are not even this. These are also advanced. Women, merchant, and laborers are actually advanced. We come in this category. Kirat, Huna, Andhra, Pulinda, Pulkasha, Abhiras, Kanakas, Yavanas, and Khasas. Why? Because we are servants of our mind. We cannot follow any rule regulation. We don't have a master. We don't have necessarily, surrendered to a guru and the words. It's like a very materialistic mindset. So this is the category actually where we fit. So we should not be proud enough to think that we are in the category of women, merchant, and Shudras. They are actually advanced category. Does it make sense?
Yeah. So
Hare Krishna. Wow. Isha, we are so happy to hear from you, your voice.
thank you.
So long. We thought you were going to come at least once a week, ask some nice questions, if not every day. But we didn't hear from you.
I promise to come continuously.
Okay, thank you. That's very nice. So we are eagerly going to wait for you every day. Okay.
Okay.
So
So,
tell me, you have any questions?
yeah. So you're saying how like the woman merchant and all the other people are like higher than us, right?
Yes.
So, if
Because you have to follow some rules and regulations for being Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra. But if you don't follow any rules and regulations, then you are lower than Shudras. So hey, that's what Prabhupada is mentioning here.
So if you were a woman and you did follow these rules, could you be considered as a Brahmin or something?
Yeah, so the women who are trained as Brahmins, like Brahman Patnis, you remember I was just talking to your, I think Rajni Mataji was there. So the wives of Brahmanas, they are Brahmins. They are not considered as Shudra. They are Brahman Patnis.
So if they were not the wife and they worked like they did it themselves, are there also Brahmanas?
They have to get trained. So in in the Vedic culture, everybody was trained. Like for example, if you see Kunti Maharani, when she's the mother of Arjun, she's the mother of Pandavas. So when she was having discussion with her husband Pandu, she was mentioning so many things and guiding him. So she was getting, so all this training was there. So when they are trained in a certain way, then they get that training. In fact, when the yagyas are done, many times it is necessary for the king to have his wife with him. Otherwise, some of the yagyas they will not be able to do properly. So it is a necessary requirement to have. So that kind of a thing is there.
And another question.
Hmm.
If women they have the like they can be trained, why aren't there any women priests?
Because we need serious and sincere people to come. People are not coming forward. We have women priests who come to the temple and do service and then go home, but we don't have so many. If you are interested, you tell me. Are you interested? Like we have so many, some of our devotees, they work as doctor, but then they go and they work as priest in the temple also, like that. So you want to be do something like that, do go and work as a doctor or some whatever you want to be, and then go in the temple and do seva there. Do you want to be like that priest?
Yeah.
Yes. So you have to come to the conference call regularly. If you don't come, then what is the question of doing priest? So we need serious, sincere people like that. Does it make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so we'll see you every day then.
Yeah, tomorrow you'll see me.
Okay, very nice. Thank you. Any other questions you have?
No, thank you. You answered all of them.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll go forward. Anybody else wants to say anything? So here the difference between Krishna and other people is if somebody has 16,108 wives, they can't live with them constantly. But Krishna was living with each of them constantly because Krishna expanded himself into 16,108 Krishnas, right? And each one of them, Krishna was serving them nicely. See, what is it here? He never left them alone at home and always pleased their hearts by making valuable presentations. So Krishna was giving nice gifts to them, having nice palaces for them. Who will not want to be the wife of Krishna? Is there anybody who would not want? All the wives would want that they get presentations, valuable presentations. regularly, that they are not left alone at home. And Krishna was doing all of that. So that is why he is Krishna. Does it make sense?
Yes, Prabhuji.
And all these girls, they were actually under the custody of a demon, Bhomasur, who had captured them and was torturing and was, doing all sorts of wrong things. And then Krishna came. He's the real hero. He relieved all of these girls. And then these girls said, oh, we were already taken by this demon. Now nobody will marry us because we are taken by him. So Krishna, you marry us. Krishna said, all right, if that's what you want, that's what I'll do. So Krishna expanded. He married. Okay. Anybody else has any questions, comments, any points for the previous shloka?
One thing is there,
Yes.
like says that he never left them alone at home. But when he was away for this Kurukshetra for this war, that was a long period, and they all knew that he was away, because when he came back, they had all gathered to welcome him. Isn't it?
Yes, Madhavi, that's true. So probably it means they were not alone at home when he left. He made all the arrangements that they have enough engagement services, and Krishna obviously can be there. So what Krishna used to do, he was there in each of the palaces every day. And then in the morning when he goes out to his court, because a king has to go to his court, right? It's like his office. So all those 16,188 Krishna will combine to become one Krishna sometimes. So like that, Krishna, how he worked in Dwarka was very mystical. So Krishna, he left also Dwarka and Vrindavan, but at the same time, Krishna never leaves Dwarka and Vrindavan also. He stays there also, especially Vrindavan. So how it happens? It happens in a very mystical way. So best way to know is to become pure devotee and go there and see yourself rather than thinking how. Is that okay, Mate?
Thank you.
Thank you. That's why Prabhupada says first we read the first 9 cantos repeatedly, then come to the 10th canto. Because in 10th canto, if we come, we'll have all these doubts, confusions. So then when we read few times the first 9 cantos, then we'll be solidly situated. Then we can go to the 10th canto. Okay. So I think it's 9 o'clock. Anybody else would like to make any points before we conclude?
I have a question.
Yes. Well, let me Isha, give me 1 second. So anybody else wants to answer any points of the questions which were just asked? Natasha Mataji, Rakshita Mataji, Anand Kishori, anything any of you want to share? Nirbhay Prabhu. Okay, Isha, ask your next question.
So if you were to ask Krishna to for him to be your husband, will he be your husband?
Depends on the devotion we have. If we are having love, then yes, then Krishna cannot stop being your husband if you have love for Krishna. Like Rukmini. Rukmini had so much love for Krishna, she wrote a letter and Krishna was fighting. Now, generally, when husbands are working at an office or something, they are very busy. If the wife calls, they'll be like, okay, I'll call you back. Or they may not be able to pick the phone. And what to say of working? Krishna was fighting. He was in the middle of the fight. But when Rukmini sent a messenger, Krishna left the fight. Now, no Kshatriya, no warrior will leave the fight because everybody will insult them. They'll say, oh, you lost. That's why you're leaving. They're going to make fun of him. So no Kshatriya or warrior will ever leave the fight. They will stay there, they'll fight till the end. But Krishna left the fight. Now, this will be very insulting for Krishna, but he could not stay in the fight because his devotee, Rukmini, was calling for him. So he had to leave. He left. So like that, if you are actually wanting Krishna, then the only thing you have to do is desire and please and have devotion. Pray to Krishna intensely. Attend conference calls and chant Krishna's name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We recently had Krishna's appearance day, his birthday. So we thought you were going to come to the temple. We missed you. They had a beautiful celebration in ISKCON temple for 4 days. So these festivals we have to actually attend. Rukmini and other Krishna's devotees, they were traveling for so long distance. And ISKCON temple is not very far. So ISKCON Farmington Hill Temple, ISKCON Detroit Temple, these are the temples where you can find so much service which you can render for Krishna. So try to do that, and that way you will get more and more devotion, and then Krishna cannot say no. Does it make sense?
Yeah. And I went to Balaram's birthday at ISKCON temple.
You went to, oh wow, nice, very good. That's very
And
good.
his birthday is also my birthday, August 22nd.
Oh wow, belated happy birthday. We didn't know. Otherwise, we would have sung birthday wishes for you. Thank you for coming today, though. So we'll see you tomorrow. Is that all right?
Yeah, you'll see me tomorrow. You have my word.
Hare Krishna. So we'll end here. Anybody else wants to make any final points? Okay. Thank you all the devotees. We'll end it here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.